Hello everybody, good morning and good night. Welcome back to the channel. I have a rather interesting video topic to share with you guys today. We are all more than aware of certain influences from pretty much everywhere to switch everything to electric power. Alright, EV. If it's not your chainsaw, it's got to be your car. It even took it a step further into the bigger rigs that haul our blood source. Everything, freight, in and out of every state, semi-trucks, starting to tap into EVs. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with electronic vehicles. I do have an e-bike. Thing's pretty sweet, to be honest with you. It basically combines a dirt bike and a bicycle. You got pedal assist, and you got twist throttle. You take that bike pretty much anywhere that you would not take a normal bicycle, put it that way. A couple years ago, I did get the chance to ride a actual electronic dirt bike, fully battery powered unit, and that thing was sweet. It had a certain freedom because it had basically unlimited RPM, no clutch, and no shifting. So just twist throttle, everything you wanted. One funny thing about that rig is every time you went back to the pits, you had to put it on the charger. Now the company that was demonstrating these bikes to us, they had a big van there loaded down with batteries to charge these bikes. Now I don't know whatever happened with that company. They never really took off. Definitely in the consumer market, every once in a while, maybe as a gimmick, you see one of these battery powered dirt bikes show up in a professional atmosphere, supercross or motocross or straight rhythm. But to further the conversation, something happened with a big truck, and that's the whole point of this video. But also, I do want to point out that I made a video recently saying that California did not want to register my brand new, upwards of $90,000 pickup truck that I use for my daily business. Now, I bought a truck so it would be completely compliant with the regulations, DOT, CARB, all that stuff for the business. Keep it simple. This is not the truck. It's parked way in the back there. All has been taken care of with that. When it comes to business, I'd rather have everything clean cut, ready to go. Other trucks, you can get the pre-smogs for doing the fun stuff. This 1970 Dodge truck is not a threat to anything. It is an awesome rig. The fact that it's still standing and running, driving 54 years after its birth is amazing. But practically, it doesn't have the horsepower to keep up with flow of traffic when it's empty, let alone when it's loaded. But it's just fun to have those around. But point being, is I got the fun trucks to have around, but when it comes to work, straightforward. But in that video, people across the board were giving me comments, left, right, up, down, sideways, you name it, on their opinion, stuff, what I should do. And it was funny because a lot of the comments were saying you should get rid of all your diesel trucks, all your gas trucks, your fossil fuels, and get an electronic, a battery powered rig. Now let me clear the air a little bit. What I need the truck to do is to tow anywhere from 5,000 pound trailer to a 35,000 pound trailer. Some of the smaller stuff, there is an EV that can handle pulling that amount of weight. Let's say a Tesla Cybertruck. Technically, it's rated to tow upwards of a small tractor, but the battery life just ain't there, especially when you get in these rural areas where you got hills more than you have flat ground. Driving up hills eats the battery big time, and we don't really have anywhere to charge it. There's one charging station in town, and it's tucked in behind the local grocery store. A lot of people don't even know it exists, so it's not like you can realistically pull in there and charge your rig every day at the supercharger or whatever it is. We all can agree there might be some practical areas where an EV would be okay. We could all agree, such as grandma that drives to town once or twice a week or once or twice a month. That would be alright, wouldn't it? She can just zip on to town, come back home, plug her car in. It's basically sitting on a trickle charger, just topping the battery off. She's not really taking a big volume of electricity, especially with the electricity crisis that's going on, especially in the state of California, where they're trying to regulate you from your, hours that you really need the air conditioner running in your house. So when you come home from work, it's actually comfortable inside your house. They don't want you running the air condition because it's hurting the grid. But let's go ahead and add a bunch of electronic vehicles. But my point being is there's not a suitable replacement for my Dodge 5500 or a Dodge 3500 or any of the 35 to 5500s to tow what I need to tow. The next best thing and only thing that could realistically do what I need to do, and it would far exceed that, is the Tesla Cybertruck. No, is the Tesla semi-truck, not the Cyber. The next step above that. They actually have semi-trucks that Tesla makes that are fully battery operated, and I think I've seen about a handful of them running around, not in our actual town, but the bigger cities down the hill in the valley. There was a Pepsi truck was the first one I saw. And now I actually might have seen that truck like 3 times. It might not have been 3 different trucks, fairly confident it was just the one, because there's one big kicker here. Now, I'm not dissing on our boy Elon. That guy is outstanding on what he brings to the table, and he just lifts the bar everything that he does. He is a big motivation and a lot of respect. But that Tesla semi-truck, it costs nearly $500,000. Okay, $500,000. And if you go get yourself a regular semi-truck, you know, options can weigh the price, just as everything does. The more options, the higher price. But a regular semi-truck could be a third the price of a Tesla semi-truck. That's a little bit difficult to stomach that. When people argued and gave me a bunch of grief over the fact that my pickup truck cost nearly 6 figures. It's inflation. And it's also evolution of the product. The products are significantly better than they were when they were $2,500 54 years ago. This is just a brief example. We have other things very much in between the $2,500 truck and the $90,000 trucks. But the whole point of this whole video is people really trying to get me to go to buy, for one, a very expensive battery powered truck to be green. But a couple days ago, on Interstate 80 between California and Nevada, there was a Tesla semi-truck traveling. Now, can't really get the story straight on what actually happened, if the truck crashed and one of the batteries was punctured. Either way, the truck caught on fire. Now, if a regular truck catches on fire, simply go up there and put it out. Well, it's a little bit different when it comes down to battery-powered items, such as these hardcore lithium setups. Basically, what you need to do is you need to take that 1,000-degree burning battery and you need to lower it down to near 100 degrees so that you can actually do anything with this battery and this truck. Furthermore, it is a nasty burning torch of a fire in the middle of fire season, burning on the side of an interstate. It's not a good thing. What really escalated the situation was it's producing fire, and that fire is making toxic fumes. They had traffic on one of the major blood supplies of the country stopped up half a mile in each direction away from this accident because of all the toxic fumes that it is producing. Not only did they have them blocked half a mile up, but the traffic on that interstate did not move for 16 hours. 16 hours. What do you think the impact on that is, as far as all the truckers that were hurt by having to be parked for that long, didn't get their loads dropped? Certain reefer rigs might run out of fuel because they're planning on making over the summit, coming into California, vice versa, topping off fuel. It just keeps going on the level of stuff that impacts, the dollar value. And one of the interviews I saw in the news, a owner-operator trucker, he stated, I don't get paid until I get this load dropped off. So he's sitting there at his own dime, not making no money. And then he even stated something that I didn't realize. What happens if one of these trucks, or any of these battery rigs, does this, catches on fire in the middle of a city? You're gonna back everybody up, evacuate them for a half mile back? You basically could evacuate a whole city over one truck. Now, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but that is an unreal amount of potential that could be used in the wrong direction really quickly. That's food for thought when everybody wants you to switch over to the green rig. Again, this ain't a jab at Elon or any of this stuff, but I also did hear one thing that I thought might it's weird how some stuff just sounds so unrealistic, but then you start to think about it and you're like, maybe that is realistic. You know, that's where the conspiracy theorist kind of starts to come out, and you go, But just listen to this, food for thought. What if Elon's electric rigs, they're all kind of a gimmick just to show the world that we're not quite ready for these, and they got to be out there to show them that they're not, because you don't know until it's been proven. And the fact that he's out there trying to make it happen, and a lot of big manufacturers have actually stepped aside from EV because they're just not making any money on it. Government subsidies are a big backer on a lot of these programs, and when it comes down to it, the fad isn't as strong as everybody would think. And it's funny enough, here in California, I've heard more talk about deleted vehicles here than I did when I was in Tennessee. There's actually more conversation I heard about EV in Tennessee, which that threw me for a loop. And then I heard somebody go by with straight pipes and jakes, and I went, it's alright here. But anyway, for everybody that wanted me to switch over from my old school stuff to something that could literally shut down a whole town if it catches on fire, just think about that for a little bit. I know there's going to be a lot of conversations, a lot of hate comments, just like the last video. But you're rolling with what you got. And sometimes what you got in this location is a lot better than somewhere else. Don't need to change something that's working great. Even if you think you got a better idea, you got to prove it first. And I don't think it's gotten proved yet. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Later.